If you've ever wanted to build a website, maybe for yourself or for businesses and companies who are probably going to pay you a lot of money, to do this thing, or you just want to start earning online, well, come on close, sit down. This is the perfect place for you to begin. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the basics of website design in the simplest way you can ever imagine. And all you need is just your smartphone. Yes, you can design websites with your smartphone. If you have a laptop, yes, it's very good. You can use your laptop. But if you don't have a laptop, don't worry. Your phone is more powerful than you know. And number two, there is no coding, which means you don't need to learn any line of codes. You don't need to stress yourself, for years learning Python, learning JavaScript and all of HTML. No. You don't need coding for this training. Absolutely. And the third thing, you don't need any technical stress. Just with your phone and this little guidance I'm going to give you, you are going to be building websites very shortly, very easy, very beautiful. Companies will pay you a whole lot of money for you to design these websites for them. And trust me, by the end of this video, you will understand what takes most people years to figure out. And when I say most people, I'm talking of smart people, man. But if you are in this video, no matter your level of understanding, trust me, you're going to understand every single thing in the simplest way, and you're going to do them very well. So if you're ready for us to continue, I want you to hit the like button to show me you are ready, and if you hit the subscribe button, let us dive in. And whoa, don't forget to leave me a good comment. I want you to comment, I am a beginner. If you are a beginner, you don't know anything about websites, you're just starting up, I want you to comment, I am a beginner. This helps me to assist you better. And if you have any little background on website design, or you've designed the website before, you've done something related to it, that kind of a thing, so I want you to comment, I am not a beginner. If you are just starting off, comment I'm a beginner. But if you've done something related to website design before, just say I am not a beginner, so that I will know the class I am teaching and I will know how to handle everything. Have you done that? Very good. Now let us dive in. The next thing you need for this training is a note. Yes, you really need a note. This is like a full course. It's like a full university course, all right? I'm going to walk you through every step of it, step by step. Do you get me? So you need a notebook. Yes, a notebook or a jotter that you'll be jotting important things down starting from today and other days that other videos that are coming up. You need to jot them down so that when you forget it, you can always look back to it, or you can always come back to this channel and find your videos, all right? So the first thing we're discussing are the basic terminologies of website. What is a website? As a website designer, if someone walks up to you and say, what is a website? You want to design something for a website for someone, and the person says, what is a website? How are you going to answer it? Well, don't think so much. A website is simply an online office. As simple as that. Like you have an office, physical office, a doctor has his office, a business person, you have your physical office, your shop or your superstore or your store or anyone at all. The same way with online, a website is like an online shop, it's like an online office, it's like an online school, it is like an online business, online market. So in this place where people can come and know about you, know about your brand, get informations, buy products, interact, get in touch with you, learn, that is a website. It is simply an online office, online shop, online school. I don't know if you get me right. So having done justice to that, I want you to think a website like a village. Yes, look at it as a very large village. I'm trying to bring it home. Look at the website as a village, and then inside that village, you will get houses, right? There are houses in those villages. So the internet is the village. Now, those houses you're seeing in that village is more like a website when it comes to internet. Do you understand it now? So think a website like an internet, the whole internet, as a village. Then houses in that village, think it as a website. Yes. Now, I know why I'm putting it this way. Every building you see in that village is a website. It's more like those buildings make up the village, the same way websites make up the internet. Now, every building you see in every village has a room. Every building has room. It has parlor, it has rooms, sitting room, restroom, kitchen, and all of those things. The same thing with website. Yes, every website have their own room, and That room, we call it web pages. A building has a room. The same thing, a website is like a building, but the room of a website is called web pages. Now, inside that web pages, there are many web pages. Like a house can have many rooms. You have the sitting room, you have the dining room, you have the kitchen, you have the restroom, you have the bedroom, you have the storeroom. The same thing happens to a website. I don't know if you're getting it. In a website, you have the home page, which is one of the room. Remember, a web page is like a building room. All right. So you have a web page. Then in that web pages, we have the home page. We have where it's more like the landing page where everyone who visits your website first enters. And then we have the about page. This is where you describe everything about your website. Let's say you have a shop, physical shop. When someone comes in, they see products, right? You tell them about your shop. All right, that's what the about page does. The about page tells everyone who comes in everything about your website. Remember, your website is an online office. And then we have the contact page. This is where people can reach out to you. They can, from your website, they can send you a mail, send you a WhatsApp message, send you a Telegram, and all of those things. And there are many other pages we have, depending on the kind of website you're building. All right. So having done justice to that, we move to the step 2, session 2. We have types of website. I want you to write this down. We have 2 types of website. 1 is dynamic website, and 2 is static website. What is dynamic website? Dynamic website is a website that changes regularly. Things changes every time, over and again. Things just keeps changing and all of those things. Let me give you example. Like Temu. Yes, every one of you know Temu. Temu is a dynamic website. Amazon is a dynamic website. Shopify is a dynamic website. Why do I call them a dynamic website? Now, these are commercial websites, which means if someone comes to buy something from that shop, if someone comes to Temu if you sign up on Temu, it has to reflect that something that you have added to the number of customers they have. If you sign up on Temu, you have added, which means it has to change on the website. Do you understand? And let's say you buy something from Temu. I see a product and I click on the product and I want to buy something. And let's say the product has 50 stock. There were 50 stock. And if I buy one, let's say I want to buy a shoe. There are 50 shoes on the Temu website. I want to buy one from that shoe. Once I buy one, it has to reflect on that website that something has removed from this website. I don't know if you understand. That is a dynamic website, which means it has to change. The quantity has to change from 50 to 49. So that is a dynamic website. So there is no way you're going to charge the same price of a dynamic website to a static website, because in a dynamic website you do more work. You have to work on it so much that when something leaves, it will reflect. When something adds, it will reflect. I don't know if you're getting it. I am trying to be as simple as possible in this video so that everyone can understand it. Then we now have the static website. Static websites are websites that it doesn't change. But I'm not trying to say that it will never change. No, it changes. Some things are updated, but it is never it's not regular like a dynamic website. For a static website, something like it changes once in a while. Like you can have like WhatsApp, when I talk website, I also talk about apps. WhatsApp, it doesn't change every time. All right, you have to it takes time. After a little while, they will tell you it needs updates. You need to update your website. But when you talk about OPay, immediately you make transfers on your OPay or any bank, immediately you make transaction, it has to reflect immediately. That is a dynamic website. But when you come to normal websites where things stay for long, maybe sometimes it will just be updated or things will change for about 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they will do something new. Like Facebook has been the way it is, the same color that we met it, they'll just add a little changes once in a while. Facebook is a static website. Understand? WhatsApp is a static website, and there are many other websites. But when you talk about e-commerce websites like Temu, Amazon, OPay, any bank at all, immediately you make any transaction, it has to reflect. That one is a dynamic website. And dynamic websites are more difficult to build, which means if you are charging $2,000 or 500k, let's say you're charging 500k depending on your currency, let's say any amount you're charging, if you're charging 500k for a static website, you cannot charge 500k for a dynamic website because it requires more stress, requires more work. Which means if you're charging 500k for a normal way, for a static website, you have to charge something like 800k, 1 million in a dynamic website. So having done that, now in static you have portfolios, we have landing pages, company pages, and all of those. So static page websites are easier, it doesn't change every time, while dynamic websites, they change every time. Next thing we are going to be talking about in this is domain name and hosting. This is where most people usually get it confused, but calm down, I'm going to explain every single thing, the difference between a domain name and a hosting. Now, a domain name is like the name of the website. What is the name? Like if you come to, remember, the website is like a building in a village, and internet is like a village as well. A building has a name, right? We have bungalow, and you know them, so name them. So domain name is like the name of the building. And remember, a website is an online office. You say you have your business. What is the name of your business? And if your website is for your business, then your domain name is your website, is your business name. As simple as that. If you're building for a school, your domain name is for your school name. So domain name is very simple, just the name of it. And these names comes in different angles. We have .com, .org, .net, .edu, .mil, .gov, and so much more, .ng, .gh, depending on what you're building the website for. It is absolutely wrong for you to be designing a website for a school or educational purpose and you use .com. It is totally wrong. .com is for commercial websites. You're building for business, for your brand, or any of those things you want to sell. They are commercial websites, so you use .com for them. But if you're building for a school, you use .edu. Yes, it's talking about education. And you can use .org if you're designing for an organization, maybe an NGO or a group of a company or anything at all. You use .org. .mil if you're designing for military people, police, army, navy, you use .mil. Do you understand? .gov if it's for government. .net if it is for the global village. That is, you're talking about everywhere in the world, use .net. If you use .ng, it means your website is for Nigerians. If you use .us, it's for United States. So what you're designing your website for determines the domain name that it carries. All right. Now that these things have been done, let's move on to hosting. Remember, I told you that a website, the internet is like a village. A website is like a building in the village. Now, domain name is like the name of the building in the village. Now, hosting is like the plot of land where that building is resting. I don't know if you get it. A building cannot rest in the air, all right? The same thing happens in a website. A website cannot rest in the air. It must rest somewhere. The same way a building rests on a plot of land, that's the same way a website rests on a hosting. We call it hosting in websites. So that's the simplest way you can understand it. Now, without a hosting, there is no website. Do you understand? So hosting and domain name usually work hand in hand. If you're buying a domain name, you will buy a hosting, you buy hosting, both of them together. And there are many places where you can buy your domain name, and there are also free ones. So I'm going to walk you through everything. Remember, I told you you can design your website free of charge. Yes, and I really mean it when I say yes, that you're going to design your website free of charge, because there are also places where you can buy your domain name and hosting for free. Do you understand? Just that the free ones usually have limitations, and I'm going to tell you all of those things. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is SSL certificate. Your website needs to have an SSL certificate. What do I mean by SSL? SSL means Secure Socket Layer. This is like the security lock of your website, the URL. You used to have HTTPS. That is what we mean by the secure socket of the website. Now, this SSL certificate protects your website from scammers. People, nobody can come in and steal your information. Nobody can edit your website. Nobody can do anything in your website. It amazed me while I was preparing this training. I discovered that Canva does not have an SSL. And remember, lots of people are putting in their card details, which means scammers can, if care is not taken, scammers or anybody can come in and steal people's card details on Canva, which is not really good. So you need to have an SSL certificate which protects your website from external aggression, from external access. Nobody has access to any information in your website. All right, and most of the domain name and hosting comes with SSL. Most of them have the SSL certificate, but if it doesn't have, you are going to buy it differently. But most of them comes with SSL certificate, so you must have it. It is a must. Except if you want to leave your website open for scammers, they can come in, they can even edit it and steal your website anytime. So that you need to be very careful about that. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about in this video is front end and back end. What did I say? I said front end and back end. The front end is like what you're seeing in the website. When you walk into Facebook, what are you seeing? You're seeing you're seeing a blue this thing, you're seeing your charts, you're seeing notification, you're seeing all of it. Is what you see immediately you enter a website. The colors, the images, the button, the design, the text, and all of those things you see when you enter a website or an app. They are called the front end. Now, the back end is what happens behind. When you send a message on your Facebook, when you type hi and send, they will tell you sending. There is something that happens behind the scene in the back end before that person gets that your message. That is what back end is. So let us see it this way, like a movie. You're watching a movie. If you on your TV and start watching a movie, the front end is this is what you're seeing. We are seeing a movie, it's interesting. But then the back end is what did the actors do behind the scene before they were able to produce this movie you're watching. All the editing, all the errors that was done behind, all the work, all the recording, all the voiceovers, all the script and everything, it's in the back end. Which means in a website, the most important part of a website is not the front end, it is the back end, because it is the back end that determines what happens in your front end. But then front end is also very powerful. Now, in coding, if we are to use coding, you have to learn both of them different. Someone who designs front end is different from someone who designs back end. And if you learn both of them together in coding, you become a full stack developer. But then I'm not going to be using coding in this training, because coding is like rigorous, like very rigorous, because you have to learn the languages for the front end. You have to learn it different. Languages for the back end, you have to learn it different. And learning all those code, trying to debunk all of those things, not everyone can handle it, and it takes a lot of time. That's why we're going to be using WordPress for this training. Yes, we're going to be using WordPress. In this WordPress, you're going to be using something like drag and drop features, like in Canva. You just drag, you drop, you understand. And in this, while we are using this WordPress, you don't need to learn front end and back end differently. You are going to do all of them together, like the back end and the front end. You will do both of them together, and it doesn't take time. Unlike coding, that you have to learn the code and everything. For the other one, you now learn. No. This is very simple. You are going to enjoy this training. I hope you're still engaging. So let's continue. Next thing we're going to talk about in this video is CMS. CMS. What is CMS? CMS is like a platform. Yeah. CMS is like a platform. How do I put this? Is like a platform that is built, that is used for all of those things. Oh, just give me a minute. Okay. CMS. What is CMS? CMS means content management system. You use a drag and drop system. There are many CMS. We have WordPress and so many other CMS. But in this training, I think we are going to be using WordPress. WordPress is like a part of CMS. All right. Now, why WordPress? Why are we using WordPress instead of other CMS? Because there are other millions of CMS everywhere. But then we decided to use WordPress. Do you understand? So why are we using WordPress out of other ones? Now, I made a research on recently, and I discovered that as of January 2025, about 63.8% of all websites are using CMS to build WordPress to build websites. Do you understand? They are using CMS. About 63% of the websites that you see online are built with CMS. I don't know if you're taking, instead of coding. This is why we're not using coding. Coding is like getting outdated. Coding is getting outdated. We have 3 ways of building website. 1, we have coding. 2, we have CMS. And then 3, we have AI. Yes, we have AI. You can build websites with AI. And building websites with AI is also another thing. But then if you look at it, Coding is taking rigorous ways. CMS is easier. And according to calculations, you can see 63.8% of all the websites in the world are built with what? CMS.
Can you see it right here? This is, I just went online and screenshotted this and brought it now. Now a CMS has 64% to nearly 70% of all websites on a CMS. Do you understand? Leading overwhelmingly by WordPress, which powers 43%. Are you seeing why we are using WordPress now? WordPress has 43% out of the 64%. Now if you check it means that it has the highest value in all the websites in the whole world. That is why we are using WordPress. So see more over 450 to 500 million websites are built with WordPress. You can go to Google and search for yourself. Search for how many websites are built with CMS, and then you search for how many websites are built with WordPress. It's going to show you exactly this thing. This is why we are using CMS. It is beginner friendly, it is flexible, it is customizable and perfect for both simple and advanced websites. So yeah, you're learning the best tool in the world. So you need to brace up. You just step into the world of website design. So welcome to the world of website designs. I'm very glad to have you. In our next lesson, the next video, we are going to move into practical side. Practical. You understand? Yeah, I'm going to be teaching you how to get your domain, how to get your hosting, how to get your WordPress dashboard, and then we build our first website. Yes, we are building our first website this week. So this is where the training is going to end today. Remember to like this video if you found it helpful, so that YouTube is going to push it and share it with other people who really need it and watch the video. And also subscribe if you have not done that. Subscribing is going to make it easy. Next time we upload a video, you are going to be the first to get a notification about the video, and probably you're going to learn something amazing like this one again. And finally, drop me a good comment. Say I am ready for the next lesson. Yes, if you want me to drop the next video, I want you to say I am ready for the next lesson, and I'm going to drop that video quickly and we'll move into the next one. So thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the world of website design, and see you in our next video or next class. Anyone. Take care. I still remain your tutor, Team Fire.